The Halloween Horror Nights podcast Fear and Beer has just shared some very interesting discoveries about the 2024 season. Today I want to discuss them, what people on the podcast think they are, and what I think they might mean. Our first big piece of news is a tweet by John Murdy. John Murdy, if you didn't know, is sort of the creative mastermind of Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood. His tweets often contain subtle hints to what he may be working on. The post says that in all his years working for Horror Nights, this year has what he thinks may be the darkest and most disturbing house ever. He also clarified that this is an IP. I'm really at a loss for this one, but I'm very excited to see what he means. The general consensus on Fear and Beer is that it is the franchise Terrifier. I think that's a pretty good guess considering how the next thing I'm going to talk about may support that idea. The second big piece of news is that the code names for the houses have been revealed. Code names are how the houses are referred to on official documents, and they all revolve around a central theme. The names themselves are often clues to what it might be. Last year's theme was fruit. The Chucky house was called Orange because he has orange hair. Most code names are not that obvious, and you have to do a little bit of mental gymnastics. The Last of Us house was called Pair because its two lead characters always travel together, as in a pair. The Exorcist was called Grapes because it's a Catholic movie. Catholics use wine in some of their ceremonies, and wine is made from grapes. This year's theme is desserts, and the names are pie, cookies, baklava, fudge, s'mores, cobbler, flan, and pudding. I think that Terrifier could be either cookies or baklava. Baklava is a flaky dessert with many layers, and for some reason when I first read that description, the first image that came to mind was that it's going to be something really gory, which is why the movie gained notoriety in the first place. I think it could also be cookies because the upcoming third movie will apparently feature the clown dressed as Santa. Leaving out milk and cookies for Santa is a common worldwide Christmas tradition. The other one that Fear and Beer put out there, which I think is a really good guess, is pie being none other than Five Nights at Freddy's. The franchise is all about a pizzeria, and a whole pizza is sometimes called a pie. They also talked about how they could have used Cupcake as the codename for FNAF, seeing as that it fits in the dessert theme, but it would be way too obvious to fans of the franchise. If we are on track with the pizza pie clue, I think that could also point to the maze being based on the movie rather than the games. Most of the franchise is inside the pizzeria, but there's a couple of notable examples like number 3 and 4 which take place outside it. All of the big kills and jump scares in the movie take place inside the pizzeria, so that's what I think the pie clue is implying. I have no idea about most of the other ones, but I do have a couple theories. Flan is a dessert that's very popular in Mexico, which immediately made me think of the Latin American Monster series. They've always sort of been cult classics at Horror Nights, but last year's was really popular and successful. It might be a similar concept to last year's, but with a brand new set of characters, or one that focuses entirely on one. S'mores is associated with camping, which immediately made me think of Friday the 13th, but then I realized something. S'mores have marshmallows as a key ingredient, and I can't think of any other horror franchise that use marshmallows as extensively as Ghostbusters. A new Ghostbusters movie is going to be coming out this spring, meaning that fans have plenty of time to watch it before it comes to Horror Nights. This is a really stupid one, so bear with me here. Fudge is often used in place of the F word in family movies. It reminded me of how stereotypical teenagers in TV and movies often use lots of profanity. This could be an IP with teenage protagonists or is aimed at teenagers. And other than that, I have no clue. Let us know in the comments what you think these clues might mean.